Well, good day, fellow recyclers, scrappers, scrapettes, planet lovers, et al. So I came across a server today, and I don't know if I did one of these or not. There's so many servers, I've lost track. This is a Dell poweredge r510 dual core, and there's the RAM for this one and the RAM for this. That's some nice chunky RAM. I'm hoping I can find a date on this thing somewhere. I think Dell is into the 710s or something along those lines now, so I don't really know how old this is. If I find a date placard, I'll let you know. Oh, here it is, right here. How about that? November 2010? Wow. 08 November 10. Wow, that's old, all right. 2010. Well, so when you do servers, first thing you gotta do, just like when you do power supplies, you gotta make yourself some room. The yard will not buy these fans. Well, my new yard. They consider them fan motors. They won't buy them. So I've been tossing them into shred. There is a copper bearing motor in there if you're so inclined. You know, I've got some that I saved, and see if it's something I want to pursue. I don't think I do. Honestly, it's really not hard for me to find other scrappers to give these to. God has been very good to me. I don't need to nitpick. These are hard drives. And that is a SATA connection. Wow. Huh. It's interesting. These were inside the computer. The hard drives from the far right have already been taken out by the owner. Okay, so I'll need a Torx screwdriver, and I'll get those out and get the boards out and sell those. Try and get, sometimes I'll get these out ahead of time just to lighten the things up. They're heavy. I will take these gold fingers outside in the fresh air with a mask and glasses. Copper dust will make you very sick. This is one space I don't feel worried at all about taking the gold fingers. I'm just going to sell this as a power supply with no wires. It's not like a backplane board or a motherboard or some really expensive good thing that I'm going to harm myself by downgrading. I took the top off outside, and it's in the back of my car. Yeah, these are probably just too old to even bother with. I mean, there's just no point in trying to resell them. I would make a case for taking these apart and possibly harvesting what's inside. Some of these server power supplies really have enough aluminum and copper to really warrant such a thing. But let's take a pass. Like I said, I don't have to. I think it comes down to if I have time and I want to make myself a little more money, yeah, I'll go after the copper. Let's see. I think I have to get this off. Those battery backups really, those were definitely worth depopulating. Depopulating is the term for taking components off of populated board. You depopulate it, but you're also going to devaluate it. So just be aware of that if you decide to depopulate. Your load is going to get downgraded. Okay. Let's see if we can see if it's worth it or not. Anything that's going to aggravate me is not worth it. Yeah, in this case, probably not worth it. Just grab the gold fingers, just a little copper, a little bit of aluminum. I would just sell this as a power supply without wires. This one is not worth it. Worth checking, but not worth scrapping. I wouldn't bother. Nope, nope, nope. Now, if it was like those battery backups we had yesterday, yeah, those I'm gonna scrap those all day, every day. Had to get a couple of more copper aluminum heat sinks. These are selling right now for 20 cents a pound, according to Non-Ferrous Jeff. The aluminum guys don't want the copper. The copper guys don't want the aluminum, and nobody wants the stainless. Apparently stainless is very hard on cutting blades. This one, I think potentially I could sit here and pull the fins off if I wanted to, and get the copper that's inside. You know what, again, I'm going to grab the low-hanging fruit and maybe just throw these into a separate bin to either go after later or just sell for 20 cents a pound with whatever's left. Same thing with these. These are probably going to be copper aluminum as well. Maybe. The server's pretty clean. I don't know how long it's been decommissioned for. I bet you didn't know you were going to get a vocabulary lesson today. Depopulated, decommissioned, scrappy D, D scraps, E scraps. I was wrong. I'm going to take a, this is light. I think it's aluminum. Some of these, if they feel heavy, you do want to scrape and make sure that's not a copper-based bottom, because a lot of times they are. This one, I'm pretty sure is aluminum, just because of its weight. Copper is heavy, basically. This is probably going to be a Xeon chip under here. These usually are not, excuse my head there, are not that hard to take apart. Just like everything else, the more you do, the more you watch, the more you learn, the easier it becomes. So that feels like aluminum to me. I will double check. On that. Okay. Now, I'll get the rest of this apart. I'll get these out. There's a space here, which is nice, so I'll be working to move the board this way. If you watched my video yesterday, I was doing a power supply, and there were two fans right here. So, of course, the board wouldn't move. It couldn't move because Dopey D forgot to take the fans out. I was tired. I should have just taken that video down. I decided not to because I do this for two reasons. I do it to teach. I mean, that's, you know, I've been in education my entire life, and I am a retired teacher by trade, but I don't enjoy making an AWS of myself on YouTube. I certainly don't. But, you know, to see where I struggled and then was able to go back and fix it, I think could be helpful to you guys. And as I said, these videos, as I get better at this and I get quicker at this, and the weather gets nicer and my hands don't hurt so much, you know, I'll be able to blast through them a lot quicker. I've also gotten a lot more comfortable with the video camera running. It really made me nervous. I don't like it. But be careful with this, guys. It could be treated, it is a piece of RAM, so. This is a daughter card. And these are daughter cards as well. They might, actually this is probably a daughter card, and these are probably graphics cards or audio cards. These might have gold fingers on them. I won't know till I pull them. I do see Intel chips on the bottom. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I gotta take this out first. These are riser cards. This is called the riser card assembly. Ouch. Apparently this is made for people with 3 hands. Okay, I can see that that's unlatched and that's unlatched. This caddy is usually one of the first things you should get out. Get it out of your way so you can get at the motherboard. You're not going to be able to take the motherboard out without getting this thing out. But I probably have to unscrew these two. They're screwed to the frame, I think. The way Ben said it best the other day, just get in there and start unscrewing stuff. As long as there's no batteries in there, you should be just fine. Okay. PC riser cards. Jesus. Come on. This is a backplane board, and this goes into some kind of a slot, this goes into some kind of a slot, and the computer components communicate via these slots. So this will have gold fingers on it, because it plugs into a black backplane board. It's like an internet. This is an older computer, so this is probably where the telephone line is plugged in for Wi-Fi. Same thing here. This is Broadcom, that's a communications company. Very jack. So these were phone jacks. I'll get this bracket off. I'll put these in with gold finger cards, without brackets, without heat sinks. They're nice and clean. There's no issue with that. For it to be a gold finger card, it has to have come out of some kind of slot. In this case, it happened to plug into the backplane board. So those are clean. Those are ready to sell. This is I think this would be considered probably a daughter card or a PC riser card. I am not a computer person. I'm good at taking them apart. I'm really not too good at fixing them and putting them together. That's someone else's bailiwick. I have to do these this way. I can't always pull them off the board. Hands are just not that strong. Once the weather gets a little warmer, it'll be better for me. Alright. I'm going to treat this like a RAM stick, I believe, unless I see that it's a slot processor. That is freed. That is freed. Be free. I'm gonna go grab a pair of pliers to pull it off with. I think I've got a pair here. Hold on a second. Be careful where you put your hands, guys. I really should be wearing gloves. We've had this discussion before. E-scrap is extremely sharp. You really can get cut on it. This is actually a slot processor. There's one space symmetrically in the center. So I'm going to put that aside so I can double check, but that to me is probably a slot processor. So like the RAM, it's off center. Although this does not have a lot of chips on it, it's not great. I'm going to put that aside for further consideration. I might put it in with the RAM. I don't think it's a good enough board to go with slot processor. I think has to have a thicker gold layer. That one I gotta look up, and that's okay. Rest of the RAM out. And gold fingered clean RAM, or clean gold fingered RAM. This should also be a gold fingered card. Gold fingers. Sorry. I'm alone today. My sense of humor is cornball as always. That's okay. I did get out to get to the yard today, which was good. I didn't get rid of a lot of light iron, but I had an opportunity to go to a local card dealership. He gave me 5 computers with my promise that I would dismantle them and take out the hard drive. And apparently he found me on YouTube, so that was really awesome. I really enjoy doing e-scrap. My biggest problem lately has been finding any. It's just like, no one's got any. Okay, see if I can get this out. Okay. I'll take this bracket off. I'll throw that in with gold fingers, I think. We'll take this bracket off here. The heat sink off, rather. Yeah, I mean, it plugs into a back plane board, so that to me puts it into gold fingers without a problem. It would be a problem if I don't get this bracket off, then it's a problem. There should be some kind of really nice chip underneath here. Chip off the old block. LSI. Gaming, graphics, video card, something along those lines. A, B, C, D, all of the above, none of the above or other. Turn that off real quick. Yeah, I'm okay with this going as a gold finger card. I don't think it'll be a problem. It qualifies. It's got a couple of really good chips on it. It does have this extra holder, but there's gold recovery in there. Lots of good cards on the back. And gold fingers, and it does plug into a processor of some type, so it can go over there with its friends. Now, this is a backplane board. Don't depopulate these. I mean, they pay very well. Backplane boards have a lot of gold in these, and they have a lot of gold here. I do have to get a Torx screwdriver. I'll get this bracket off and I'll put the board in with my gold fingers. Excuse me, with my backplane boards. It's not a gold finger card. That's a backplane board. That one I would never get away with putting into gold fingers. Well, I don't know, some years might pay that way. I don't think they pay all that differently as a category. I think they're pretty close. Okay, now this is a SATA connection. You've heard me talk about SATA connections. Excuse me, I did it again. Dadgummit. This is a non-SATA connection. When I pull this ribbon wire, I would expect to find something full of gold pins underneath it. And its other part is over here. Well, I wound up breaking it. There's gold pins in this connector here, but I tore the end off. Oh no! I'll do the same thing here too. I'm sure I'll tear this off too. But if you're into gold recovery, yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but there's gold pins here too. But a lot of time, like I said, with these non-SATA cruddy ribbon wires, they'll be good gold recovery. In this case, if I can get this off, I will. That was easy. Sometimes these just twist off. Sometimes they got to be clipped. If you have to clip them, just remember you have to get the whole thing off. Otherwise, it's got to go into irony late. I got to throw it into irony late. I don't want to be bothered. Or I don't want to be bothered at this moment. I'll be bothered at some other time. Okay, making progress. Wouldn't it be really cool if I just got the board out on the first shot? I should be able to. I don't think this should be a hard board to get out. You don't know what's, you don't know what happens. All it takes is one thing to gum you up. And again, if I can get this off, I'll sell it as clean. If I can't, it's going to have to go as irony late because it has metal on it. Not a lot of metal, but it does have metal. Okay, get the battery. Computer and server motherboards almost always have a battery, so be careful with that. I got rid of those this morning too. I took them over to the recycling bin in the town transfer station. Yeah, I really don't want that stuff around the house. I really don't. It's dangerous, you know. I don't want a fire. I just God, the house. I don't want it to burn down. There's just some kind of small peripheral card over here. Get all this garbage out before you can even try to move the board. Anybody, not just me, everybody. I'd like to get this board free because it would be easier, but it'd be easier because then I wouldn't have to sit here and cut all this stuff to free the motherboard. I mean, I can always do a lot of the cleanup after the video's over. You know, I don't need to sit here and snip wires. That doesn't help you learn. This actually has to be removed from its slot. Push that forward. backplane board over here. Mother McCree, what a tangle of wires. This computer wire tends to be kind of low grade. It's got its own category. Some grades of insulated copper wire are much better than others, but this computer wire is really as low grade can get. I've forgotten the actual number. I think it's like 35% recovery. It's not a lot for your wire. So do yourself a favor and try to keep it separated. Okay. I'm going to just have to nip these real quick. A quick nip. Sounds like a drink. I think I'll go have myself a quick nip. But not yet, it's too early. It's only, what, not even 1 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. Too early to be out there nipping. Trying to get a couple of extra videos in the queue. I like to try to post 6 days out of the week. Some days you just can't find any e-scrap to process. I bought one out today and I got a couple of modems, but to get at them I'm going to have to get security bit screws. They're the stars with the little dot in them, and I don't have them here, so I rearranged. My thought on the matter is with cable boxes will go into these little cheap plastic digital things. There may be a good deal of e-scrap for cable boxes, and I think it'll be interesting to find out if they're worth scrapping or not. I used to just sell them whole. I had a yard that would buy them whole, and then he would sell them, and that was fine. But I do have a yard that will do that, but I want to find out if it's going to be more. I have a new yard that will buy them. I'd like to get a couple apart to see what's in them first, to see if it's more cost effective to just sell them whole and as is, or if the boards inside are good enough to warrant shipping them out the board sort. I'm just going to throw this in with low grade wires, and because I am going to go low grade wires, low grade boards. I will take this piece of copper. Why? Because I'm selling it as a low grade board. Doesn't matter what I take off it. That's a nice piece of little copper. So, cut that guy off. I mean, you can see it's really not a very good board. It was involved with the power supply, so there's a lot of garbage on it. I mean, if I got all this off, yeah, it would be a better board, but it's just too much rubbish on there. So that's, even though it's got gold flashing, it's got MLCCs and IC chips and some stuff on the back. Yeah, I'm just going to throw it into low grade boards because it's got a bunch of garbage on it. Just like anything else, if you want to spend time cleaning it all up to get a little more money, well, feel free, but they've got hundreds of pounds of low grade wires, everything from power supplies to things like that. And I have a pretty good load. I don't send those to board sort because I only get between 20 and 40 cents a pound, and it costs $1 to ship them. So something like that, I'm better off, even though it doesn't pay as well, I'm better off taking it to cable management in Meriden. Now when I get a truck full, I will. All those battery backups that I've been working on, once I depopulate those, I'll take those up there as well. It's just, you know, it doesn't make sense to spend $1 a pound to ship stuff that's only going to pay you 20 to 40 cents, right? So, unless you live near somebody who will buy those. In this case, I'm lucky enough to have somebody who will buy those. He's a middleman. He doesn't actually recycle them himself. So, but it's what I have to work with right now, and I do some of the higher grade stuff I do ship. Okay. I do think with the large number of E-scrap, it's a nice piece of number 2 copper. Large number of E-scrap that's out there. I think it's going to become more and more in demand. I was watching Shark Scrapper the other day, and he's been with Board Sorts since he started, his channel, and he also has found an additional buyer for his material. The same thing, they'll buy the low grade boards. He can ship them there, whereas shipping them to Board Sort is not cost effective. Oh my God, I nipped the copper. Jeez. Okay. Let me get these guys off before I forget. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is an Intel board. These are going to be probably a Xeon chip. They're not going to be. They better pay an iCore because it's just it's a very old computer. Pinless. Yeah, make sure when you wipe this paste off, guys, do it over something. It's messy. I spent 2 hours last night cleaning computer crap off my kitchen floor. Intel Xeon 1989. Nobody wants them, guys. You could try reselling them. Good luck. You're not going to be able to. Sell them to a refiner, sell them to a processor. This would categorize as a pinless CPU with metal back. That's the most common category for these. By the pound, they don't pay too bad, but most of the weight is here. That's it's either aluminum or copper, depends on the chip. I don't really have to clean the stuff off, but since I'm sitting in my kitchen, I'm going to. I don't want this crap on the floor. That's one thing I'm looking forward to. Boy, oh boy, is getting this kitchen cleaned. I do plan on spending the rest of this weekend moving my workshop down to the basement. It's just been too cold. I like the kitchen. I redid the kitchen. I painted all the cabinets. It really wasn't too hard. My nephew had done them a couple of years ago, so it really just got them a nice freshen up, nice coat. And yeah, it's very bright. I put all new shades up. I love these shades. These are really easy to they just push up and pull down without a string and getting tangled. So I replaced all of those. I gotta get one more coat of paint on the soffits, upper part of the cabinets, and then I'll be all done with that. This down here, if you could actually get it off, there's some brass in there. But if you can get this off, I'm just going to sell it as a backplane board. love Dell. They always have arrows. Push, pull, twist, turn. Twist, turn, push, pull, twist and shout. When in trouble, all in doubt, run in circles, scream and shout. Bloody stubborn A-crap. Ice crap. Don't forget, guys, this stuff isn't exactly intended to be taken apart. You know. I don't think they had scrappers in mind when they built these. Of course, now you just have to replace everything so quickly because technology is changing. I mean, my gosh, I've replaced my iPhone more time than I ever, in 10 years than I ever replaced my my landline. Landlord. Yeah, I replaced them too. I got a new one. Huh, that was aggravating, yes. Alright, in this case, there's some gold pins here. This is not a great board, so in this case, out of respect for my buyer, I am going to leave this brass on here, and I am going to sell that with my backplane blades. You know, you don't want to upset your buyer, guys, because then you're not going to have a buyer. And they're done that. Except I was the one who was on the crap end of the stick, so to speak. I got crapped on by the yard. I complained about it because they kept shorting me. Oh, they threw me out. Well, their loss. And I actually far prefer my new yard. They're much nicer. They don't pay as well, but they also don't rip me off. I mean, you make plenty of money off somebody who comes in 5 times a week and taught you how to do e-scrap. And then you're going to short me. And what's even worse is you don't think I'm going to catch you shorting me? I count my stuff before I go in, believe me. And not... it helps me to, well, I do it, number one, because I don't want to get shorted. You know, I think you've got to have some idea what you're going to get when you go. And, I don't know. I don't care about shred, that just, but e-scrap, yeah. And like I said, I like the two companies I'm working with now. They don't cheat me at all. And, you know what's even worse though is now this yard, which used to be very good, changed owners. The original owner passed, and the yard is being run by someone else. Boy, she'd roll over in her grave if she saw what was going on there. She really would. It's really sad. And I am not the only one for saying it. The Google reviews say it all over the place. Why would you do that? Don't you think people are going to post that they're getting cheated at your place of business? Alright. That was relatively easy. So, this is going to go now. This... the differentiation is if you can fit a quarter in there. Can't fit a beer cap, so I don't think I can fit a quarter. I'm going to go small metal socket. That's how they have them graded, and that's how I'll go. So this is going to be a multi metal socket, small metal socket, multi-small metal socket motherboard. I just got to get this little bit of rubbish off, and this will be ready to sell. I'll try and get this card off. I'm not really sure what it is, but some kind of peripheral board. Peripheral boards, basically, guys, anything that's not a motherboard. Probably a Wi-Fi card of some type, yeah. Yeah, I'll throw that in with my low grade boards. I would, if I wanted to, I would nip those gold pins off, but no need. I'll show you the back. Some yards will make you take these brackets off, and if you're going to take them off, you just unscrew these screws right here, and then they'll fall through. Okay, now that's about it for this board. I'll clean these off real quick and put it in my board sort box. I don't resell these because who knows why they replaced it. Probably because it was made in 1991 or whatever it was they said it was. You know, the older technology just can't keep up. Okay, so dual small metal socket motherboard ready to be sold. Okay, that's going to be it for this video. Stay wonderful, guys. Have a nice rest of your weekend. Bye bye.